Hello, my name is Daryl Morin at Advanced Wireless Incorporated, and want to thank you for taking a few moments out to learn a little bit about Motorola Solutions' new, or I should say second generation 802.11 AC access points, the AP7522 and AP7532. We just received these in, they're brand new. Once again, they represent Motorola's second generation of the AC product, both the 7522 and 7532. First thing to note, both of these APs run the Wing 5 controller software that you'll find on Motorola's appliances and virtual controllers, actually right inside the AP, so they have a full feature set. That means that each one is site survivable, so you could have a centralized controller, whether it be an appliance or a virtual controller, and should you lose connectivity, they will continue to operate 100%. In fact, since they are running the same software, each of one of these access points can actually serve as a controller and run independently and completely manage and configure and provision and monitor up to 24 access points. If they do have a virtual or appliance controller, they can serve as the RF domain manager, handling routine local functions for up to 128 access points. So they are very intelligent. They are, as I mentioned before, AC access points, both of them. They do operate Motorola's Smart RF, meaning that Smart RF utility can go ahead and configure channel and power assignments, etc. And since there is a coordinator of that, you'll find that the time it takes for them to make an adjustment and to settle down is a lot shorter than most independent auto configuration utilities that you find on the market. They also have integrated wireless intrusion prevention, where they not only detect other access points that are in the area, but they allow you to tag them as either unsanctioned or neighbor APs. And in addition, it will also search for that MAC address that it sees in the air on your network. And if it does, it will confirm that as a rogue, so you're not spending your time unwisely hunting things down. Also has a captive portal built in, so if you want to run a hotspot, you don't need to go back to a controller for that. It can handle it locally. Built-in enterprise DHCP, radius authentication, routing, and the like. So very, very capable. So that you're going to find in both APs. The 7532 version of it is running a 3x3 MIMO, meaning it is transmitting and receiving on 3 antennas at the same time. And the last 3 tells you how many spatial streams it can send at the simultaneous time. So this will do 3. As such, on 5 gigahertz, the 802.11 AC, it will connect up to 1.3 gigabits per second. For 2.4 gigahertz, once again, AC doesn't extend to that band. It's 5 gigahertz only. It will go up all the way to turbo mode, above and beyond 450 megabits per second, and actually achieve up to 600 megabits per second on the 2.4 radio, should your clients go ahead and support it. I have 2 of them here. One of them is the external model. You will find it has 3 external RP SMA connectors, so you can connect either an omnidirectional or directional or hemispherical patch antenna of your choice, depending on your coverage requirements. You're going to notice, even though there's 2 radios in here, a 2.4 gigahertz and a 5 gigahertz radio, it still only has 3 antenna connectors on there. And the reason is that they're using diplexing on those antenna connectors. So even though I'll have 3 antennas on here, at the exact same time, they can transmit at both 2.4 and 5 gigahertz frequencies without any performance degradation. So one of the things they've done to reduce the cost by reducing the number of antennas that you need. Secondly, there's aesthetic benefits to that too. One of the things I noticed originally when I unboxed it, as I said, where are the status lights? They're actually embedded and they're below the cover, but you see when it is powered up, you will see those lights there, etc. You will also find that it has 802.3 compliant 1 gigabit Ethernet port here, capable of half duplex and full duplex. An RJ45 console port here, and if you aren't using or have available 802.3 AF power, because that's all that's required to run these, you can plug in an external power supply if you don't want to use a power injector, etc. So that is the external version of the 7532. Here is the internal version, once again with antennas built inside of it. For the internal version, the 2.4 gigahertz radio has a 4 dBi antenna, and the 5 gigahertz has a 6 dBi antenna built right in there. One of the things I really liked about this series too is Motorola really did do a much better job of providing a mounting option. So they do have an external mount that comes included with all the hardware that you need to do it. So that will mount directly back here on the access points, lock and locking into place. So you can go ahead and screw this directly to a wall. What you're also going to notice, and I give Motorola a lot of credit for their innovation in this perspective, they've had this feature for a while, is a locking mechanism built right in. So if you have a drop ceiling, you can simply push it up on the drop ceiling, turn it, and it will lock it in place. So give them high marks for going ahead and finally coming out with a separate mounting plate for that. If we look at the 7522, looks aesthetically almost similar, almost identical to the 7532. The biggest difference here, well, it does still have the captive portal, the radius server can control up to 24 other access points or be a radio domain manager for up to 128, is it only uses two antennas for transmit and receive, and only supports 2 spatial streams. So for folks who don't really need the high performance of that 1.3 gigabit per second high-end access point that the 7532 gives you, it provides you greater affordability by only using a radio chipset that utilizes 2 antennas and 2 spatial streams at the same time. Because of that, since we're limited now to 2 spatial streams, you find that the max performance on the 5 gigahertz radio is now at 866 megabits per second, and on the 2.4 radio, 400 megabits per second. So greater affordability, but once again, it brings down the overall throughput capacity and data rate capacity of the radios. So that is it. In a nutshell, that is the AP7532 and AP7522 for Motorola. If you would like to do a free demonstration of one of these for up to 2 weeks, please go ahead and visit www.awimobility.com or call us at 888-238-9473, extension 103, and we'll go ahead and send you out one of these, and you can test it and configure it in controller mode within the AP if you would like, or we'll actually can go ahead and send you a No Limits VX9000 virtual controller, which will allow you to centrally manage up to 24 access points for 30 days. The licensed version actually allows it to scale up to 10,000 access points. And you'll find that inside of it, you'll get a couple of DVDs with reference materials and the actual software. So once again, thank you for joining us here at www.awimobility.com. We look forward to talking with you again soon.